Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Akakwadash, and I want to say Shalom, Yakunakwat out there, doing this true diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's going to be titled, E Loves to Lie About Statistics. Alright, or E Loves to Lie About Crime Statistics. Now, through Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, this lesson was inspired by this post here that was made by the brother Arai La Yashral Yahweh Shai is coming back 144,000. And I was looking into it, and I guess it was originally posted on Twitter or X by a lady named Rebecca Jones. And these statistics on here aren't even as bad as they really are, right? They seem to be just over, all right, 55% kidnappers, like just over half. But I was curious, so I asked ChatGPT about the same things, with leaving certain things off, like statutory rapists, all right, because they say edophilia, right? But that's statutory is they could be 17, all right, and you know you could be 18, and they'd consider that statutory rape. That's a stupid law. All right, that's just dumb. All right, 19 and a 17-year-old are 2 years apart. It's fine for a 15 and a 17-year-old, but not a 17 and an 18-year-old. That's just a disproportionate. That's just stupid. All right, it's stupid. So it should just be based off. Anyway, we're not gonna get into that. It's just dumb. All right, and some places have laws that if those two people were already dating, it's dumb. Esau can't run shit for shit. All right, there was a video I just saw today proving that Esau can't run shit for shit or make laws for shit. That this guy got arrested and held in an ice and internment facility because they said he had opium when it was YSL, Yves Saint Laurent, opium perfume or a cologne. All right, everybody knows that. Well, not everybody. If you're in the fragrance scene, all right, everybody fucking knows that. It's a pretty popular cologne. Okay, they make it for a female version of it as well. But they said, and they lied. They lied on him, all right, just as they lied with this. And they said, oh, he said he was dipping it, and he's probably dipping it in cigarettes. Or they said, and at the end, they lied to the woman or someone and said, oh, yeah, he said he was dipping cigarettes in it. He never said that. That's a lie, all right? Just like a lot of these statistics are lies. And they say, oh, you know, black men doing this, what is it, the 70 or whatever, the 17% or 13% of the population, 70% of the crime, whatever the fuck they happen to say. All right, but they're looking at a disproportionate statistic metrics based on really false data. All right, but things that make them look better, right? So let's look. They say armed robbery, right, or robberies or something, that Jake makes up more of the robberies. Matter of fact, I might ask it about robberies as well. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if that one, they're not the primary statistic of, all right, because they have more of the money, all right? You have more of the money, you're less likely to steal, and so on and so forth, all right? Well, at least that's usually how it is. You have these rich people that are stealing for whatever reason. Just shows you that they're base men. So, you see here, it says, despite making up only 28 of the USA population, FBI data shows that white men are. You can go and see, and before we do that, what percent of people in America or the US are white? White alone, 57. All right, what'd they say? 28% of the population. Oh, that's white men. Okay, white men. So white people alone, allegedly, are 27. All right, 27.8% of the population. Right. Felt like he was grabbing a drink, but 57% allegedly. Right, allegedly. And we can go look at their crime statistics. Right. Now, they say 55% of kidnappers. Well, that's, they say 55%. Well, actually, it's a little bit higher. I don't know when this was posted. This is September 13th. So that was just a couple days ago. Well, let's look at here, okay? And we have, these are all reports from the FBI. I'm not going to click on the sites, but you can see it goes to the FBI 2019 tables. All right, so these are from 2019. So kidnapping and abduction arrestees, 59.4% white. So just almost just about 60%. All right, white, which is 10% higher than any other demographic. Okay. It says sources, source FBI NIBRS arrestees by race. All right, so 5,305 were white of 8,941 total kidnapping, abduction arrestees. Sex offenses and rape. They always like to say, now here's the thing. They like to say, oh, Issachar, right? And here's the thing. Let me grab another scripture. Let me get my notes up here. Let's see. Bear with me. Everything on these phones is just slow now. But let's go and get where is it? Let's get it. Proverbs 12 and 19. Let's go and jump and get that real quick. All right. All right, Proverbs 12 and 19 reads, "The lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment." So Esau, they like to lie. All right, and mind you, it's one of their favorite things to do. We can actually get another scripture. I just posted one. Posted a little photo of it the other day. Why is my brain drawing a blank? Here it is. Job 13 and 4. "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." So, what is a forger of lies? If someone was a forger of lie, we can go over and ask. If someone was referred to as a, well, or if a people were referred to as forgers of lies, what would that mean for them? Okay. It says, if a people are called forgers of lies, that label paints them as more than just casual liars. It suggests they're active creators of falsehoods. People who deliberately shape, invent, and spread lies rather than simply repeating them. Let's read that again. It's fucking fantastic. If a people are called forgers of lies, that label paints them as more than just casual liars. It's not, oh, I got a BMW and they don't have one. That's Jake. Jake's a casual liar, all right? They try to make themselves seem cooler. Esau's not like that. They're completely different, right? It says, it suggests they're active creators of falsehood. People who deliberately shape, invent, and spread lies rather than simply repeating them. A few layers to the meaning. Intentional deception. They're not mistaken or misled, but consciously manufacturing untruth, which Jake can do as well. Craftsmanship and deceit. The word forger carries the sense that someone is working like a smith with metal, but here it applies to lies, meaning they put effort, skill, and creativity into constructing false narratives. That's Esau. Corruption of trust. If a whole people were branded this, it would imply their reputation is stained. They've been seen as fundamentally untrustworthy, making truth itself hard to find among them. Immoral condemnation. The phrase is almost always meant as a heavy insult or judgment, not just an observation. It implies wickedness, corruption, or being an enemy to truth. In a biblical or poetic sense, being forgers of lies would mark a people as not only dishonest, but as enemies of the truth and righteousness, shaping falsehoods in a way that a smith shapes metal. Damn. Call all you Halbah Shemiao Shai for that one. That is heavy as hell. Right? That is heavy. And that's these devils, man. But guess what? It only lasts but for a moment, as the scriptures say. Someone ends up pulling receipts. All right, that's a big thing on Twitter now, is pulling receipts, and it's fucking hilarious. Someone will be like, you have these, these white nationalist, so-called white nationalist Christians, and they'll say, oh, well, this happened, and someone will say, well, no, that's not what happened, and they'll pull the source on it, and then these people will get infuriated, okay? infuriated. And you might say, I want to point this out because you can see this. You might say I changed the prompt. I'll show you what that was ahead of time. I accidentally just typed in what percentage of, and then I just, you go here and you can just edit the message. So I wanted to show that real quick because people say, oh, I edited it. So I just wanted to show you that. Just make it apparent. I'm not a liar, unlike you Edomites. All right, Jake. When we're in this truth, at least we don't lie. All right, we tell the truth. So this is what happened. All right, is what percentage of, and I actually changed it to crime statistics by race because it was originally titled cutoff message or something like that. So I just did crime statistics by race so I could save it and have it. So being transparent, all right. But what percentage of, and then you see, looks like your question got cut off. What percentage of what were you asking about? So I just re-edited it and put this in. What percentage of, and then I continued on from there. So I wanted to put the 2 out of 2. What did you really put? What did you really put? There you go, Esau. That's what I really put. I accidentally typed it in because I thought I could add a space right here and then list off things individual. So instead I had to do it like this and put a dash and then list off these things. So yeah, there you go, E. Wanted to make sure you couldn't try to push that narrative because we know you'll try to fucking crawl out from any little gutter that you put in. Dumb. All right, and you guys like to fuck kids, so I'm not going to listen to a kid diddler, all right? So get the fuck out of here, okay? You guys deserve to be put to death. It says, kidnap, so we already got kidnapping. Now, sex offenses, rape, arrestees, 68.9. That's almost 70% white, okay? And let me change white for what it is, because not every white person is an Edomite. Edomite, all right? Edomite. Now, pretty much most of the Edomites that you see are going to be of white skin color. That doesn't mean everybody of white skin color is an Edomite, all right? Such as myself, all right? I happen to be an Israelite, but that's the amount of Israelites that are white-looking is lower than the amount of Edomites that are white-looking, right? So most of us are going to look like, brown of some variety, right? Then again, you're going to have underliers. You're going to have some that look like Chinese, some that look like Arab, right? That's just how we are. So... But most of the people are going to look like who they are, right? But it's not definitive, all right? You can't just base it off of that. You have to judge them by how they act. Are they receptive to the truth? Are they just scoffers, but Israelites in 2/3? Or are they actually just a heathen, right? Multiple layers that you have to go through, all right? When you judge correctly, Esau doesn't judge correctly, all right? That's because he's a piece of shit and doesn't know what he's doing. That's what happens when a base man is a ruler, okay? And they did decent, all right, for quite a few years, because you got to realize the Lord took a base man and set him up as this power, all right, really to show his power, all right. So the Lord could show his power. It's a show of power by the Lord, not of Esau. So here's the big one. So you see right here, 68.9. Oh, but the big one's down here, but 68.9% of grapes are white people, and they always try to say, oh, it's Issachar. They try to say, oh, it's these immigrants coming over. These immigrants are just graping our women. They're graping people. No, 68.9% white. There you go. Out of 16,372 total sex offenses, 11,273 were white. Right, we're Edomites. Okay, so there you go. Here's the big one. Child pornography, all right, without the P, all right, because they don't want that statistic going out. 77% white. Damn. You Edomites just love kids, all right? Now, what would you, I'm not going to stick up for Jake, all right? But I am going to bounce this off you, all right? It's still wrong at the end of the day. What would you consider more wrong? Okay? Someone going into a store and taking a bunch of shit, or someone getting off to the idea of a 2-year-old, all right? Or going and touching a 2-year-old. What's worse, the guy that went and robbed a store, all right? Or the guy that was fantasizing about doing butt stuff with a little kid? Sorry, I have to say it gross. Which is worse? Which is worse? I'll give you a hint. It's the one with the 2-year-old in it. Okay? It's the one with the 2-year-old in it. Because that's a crime worthy of death. Okay? Biblically. All right? Biblically, stealing was not punished by death. Okay? You just have to pay back more than the amount that you stole. I think it was it 7 7 times. Is that what it was? Yeah. Proverbs 6 and 31. Proverbs 6 and 30. Men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. Okay? And Jake's not always doing it because they're hungry. All right? But 31 it says, but if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. Okay? So if he's found, if you stole something for $1, you'd have to pay back, $7. All right? Or sevenfold, $8 perhaps. All right? I'm bad with math. All right, I don't know if it includes that $1 or not. I'm not sure how math works in that regard, but $7 to $8, right? So that's how it worked. It wasn't death. All right. Now, doing weird sex acts. All right, with someone that is beneath the pubescent age. Okay, that's how it worked biblically. Don't kill the messenger. All right, that is under the pubescent age, he would have been put to death. That would be considered fornication, unlawful sexual intercourse. All right, it's unlawful to do that. It would have been considered unlawful, and the punishment for fornication was death. Okay, so which one is better? The person that robbed a store or the person that did stuff with a little kid? If you say did stuff with a little kid, found the Edomite. Okay, found the Edomite, because that's some sick shit. What about mass shooters? Okay, 52% white. Right? There you go. There you go. So, and then incest perpetrators, they have no reliable single national percentage of race, but we know that it's white people. Okay? We can say, okay. Let's see. Okay. Back to the topic. I have some more questions. What percent of serial killers, armed robbers, drug dealers, we might see the numbers dropped on the drug dealers and armed robbers, right? But Esau has their other crime, in embezzlers, let's see, embezzlers, what else? Trying to think of another one. Are white. Also, since we don't have stats for incest based on race, what state have the most incest cases? Yeah. Now we let it run. Gonna give us two. See, there's our disproportionate, our people's disproportionate statistic, right? Robbers, armed robberies. Oh, yeah, but look, you were topping all the other ones. You focused on our one statistic. All right, serial killers. We already have it. Serial killers. All right, let's drop it. Now, they say U.S. serial killers are white. And then they say black serial killers are 41% in that same data. Over here, all right, it says based off of the Radford and FGCU serial killer database, 84% are white. That seems like the more accurate statistic. All right, 41%. How many black serial killers do you know? All right, how do you know? All right, what about all the famous ones? They're all white. All right, 84 seems more accurate. Armed robbers, 31%. All right, but you can see that down here, black or African American account for 59. I'll believe that statistic. All right. What else do we have? Embezzlers. Oh wait, no, drug dealers, 26% white. Okay. So that's what they say. They said they couldn't find reliable data. They could be covering up, all right, to try to help Jake out. All right, we know the crimes that our people be doing, but we know the crimes that your people be doing as well. Embezzlers, 60 to 65% white. They say down here, 60% white. They say 38.1% are black or African American, right? Let's see. No reliable state data. Interesting. Some research and advocacy beliefs note high reported molestation rates in Utah. Okay, that's interesting. That's cool. Which one do I prefer? Like the way it worded this one better. But let's go race stats in Utah. Well. What do we have here? Predominantly white. And that's where the most molestation cases are coming out of. All right. So don't try to pull that bullshit, E, where you say all violent crimes. Well, are you just including armed robbery as violent crimes? All right. Is that what you're going for? Because what else? What about all sexual crimes? You know, you can paint any type of narrative any way you want, E, and look into one statistic if that's what you want to do. But you're purposely doing that to obscure what you do. All right? You disproportionately fuck kids. Okay? That's you. Okay? That is you. And the Bible points to that's who you are. Hebrew 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Now, we're going to get what this word means in just a moment, but before we do so, I want to go ahead and get this in a couple different translations. Here's the NLT. It says, make sure that no one is immoral or godless like Esau, who traded his birthright as the firstborn son for a single meal. You lied about that as well. You said that it was stolen from you. It wasn't stolen. You traded it. Okay? Trade does not equate to theft. Okay? Trade does not equate to theft. You stole our blessing. No, we didn't steal shit. It says, none of you should fall into the sex sins. This is the one that's actually got it. Sex sins, or forget Yahweh like Esau did. He had a right to get all Isaac had because he was the oldest son, but for one plate of food, he sold his right to his brother. He sold his right to his brother. He sold his right to his brother. What did he do? He sold his right to his brother. He stole it? No, he sold his right to his brother. All right? And the Lord let that happen. Everything happens by Yahweh Shem Yahushai's sake. Okay? So, we can go and get, this is, the King James Version of Matthew 10:29, and it says, are not 2 sparrows sold for a farthing, and one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father. So one of them shall not die or perish without the Lord doing it. Okay, so nothing happens without the Lord's doing. So Esau was meant to sell his birthright. All right, and it's actually prophesied when he was talking with Rebecca. You can go and get Genesis 25 and 23. And let's see. So Genesis 25 and 23, I want to see if I want to read up. And it says, and the Lord said unto her, her being Rebecca, 2 nations are in thy womb. So it was 2 nations. It was already, we were not the same people. All right. Before we were even born, we were not the same people. The Lord made it that way. All right. The Lord made it that way. Okay. It says, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So the elder shall serve the younger. Let's go on. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So he came out first. He's the older. So it says, the elder shall serve the younger. The elder shall serve the younger. The elder shall serve the younger. Okay? Showing you that the birthright was always meant for Jacob. Okay? Now, some people stipulate, they like to say, oh, you know, they because you can go up into, where was it? Right here. And the children struggled together within her in Genesis 25 and 22. So, and then you can go on, and a lot of people get this one as well. And it says, this is verse 26 in Genesis 25. It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. Okay, Jacob's holding on to Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. So there was a fight in the womb, and some people like to equate that to, you know, Esau trying to usurp his way to be the firstborn, all right, when it should have been Jacob, all right, so on and so forth. But that's neither here nor there at the end of the day, because the Lord had it happen the way it happened, all right, and that's that. So some people say, oh, that was happening, there was a fight, and, you know, Esau pushed his way out first. When Esau was supposed to be, you know, not the firstborn, it's supposed to be Jacob. Some people like to, you know, go and stipulate about those things, and that's why Jacob was holding his heel. But that's neither here nor there, because at the end of the day, the blessing went to Jacob, regardless if that was the case or not. Okay, so, but yeah, they were fighting in the womb because, again, opposition, right? So now we can go. Fuck, I had to grab a drink again. We can go and get a couple more. Let's go to the GNT, Good News Translation. It says, let no one become immoral or unspiritual like Esau, who for one single meal sold his rights as the older son. Kind of weakened it, but let's go and really get an understanding of what this word fornicator means. Okay? Okay, so you can go here. This is the Blue Letter Bible, and you can see it's from the Textus Receptus, all right, Greek. Okay, now you go down and you look for the word fornicator, all right, which goes back to the Greek word pornos. Okay, you can see it highlighted here, pornos. Okay, you can click on it, read it.
Strong's G 4205. Parnas.
All right. And you're looking for definition 3, a man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse, a fornicator. So in order to really understand this, we got to understand what fornication is. Not a fornicator, but fornication itself. And the Greek word for that is porneia. All right? Strong's. Okay? Porneia. Or we'll get it on the Blue Letter Bible all the same. Okay? Porneia. Come on.
Strong's G 4202. Parnaya.
All right. See, they're very similar. Pornos and porneia. All right, that's where the term porno or pornography comes from, right? You can see down here, the KJV translates the following matter as fornication. If we go and again get Hebrews 12 and 16, it should say a fornicator when we get pornos. Yeah, so fornicator. All right, a fornicator. So pornos is fornicator. Okay. You can see they're similar looking words. Okay. So pornos is a fornicator. Porneia is fornication. All right. So what is fornication? So we know that there's no other fornicator. All right, like Esau. And a fornicator is someone who participates in illicit sexual intercourse, because that's what fornication is, as you see down here, illicit sexual intercourse. But what is it really? Adultery, fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, sexual intercourse with close relatives, sexual intercourse with a divorced woman, not man, they got that wrong, or metaphorically the worship of idols. So no one does that as much as Esau. No one's as big as a fornicator as Esau is. All right, so it says back in Hebrews 12 and 16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. And That's who he is, all right? And he's profane. Profane means ungodly, godless, okay? Relating or devoted to that which is not sacred or biblical. Secular, all right? He is obsessed with himself, okay? So he likes to put out statistics, and this is why you should never believe this devil. Let's go get that. Ecclesiasticus 12:10, it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And rust just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it spreads and spreads and spreads. You don't want none of it, all right? It just gets worse. It doesn't get better. It's just bad. And that's why you can't trust this devil, okay? You cannot trust him, all right, because the statistics are all skewed. He'll play up the statistics that Jake has, armed robbery. Look, in this truth, I wouldn't want to be any type of criminal. But if I had to be labeled either a kid fucker or an armed robber, I'd rather be labeled an armed robber. I'd rather be labeled none of them. But if I had to be known as one, like everyone was talking behind me, and I've never done an armed robbery. But if there was a rumor going around, and I had a rumor put on me, all right, that was a false witness, that someone was having a false witness, bearing a false witness on me and making lies on me, and I was at a job or anywhere, I'd rather hear, hey, did you know he robbed a bank, or that guy, robbed a store. I'd rather have that rumor going around than some guy saying, hey, that guy fucks kids. All right, did you know that guy is sexually attracted to 2-year-olds? I'd rather be thought of as the bank robber, right? That's the one that's least bad in that situation, right? You'd rather be thought of as a murderer than a kitty diddler, than a chomo, right? So, and 77% Esau, 77%. 77 fucking percent, okay? 77, all right? There you go. 56, 77%, 56, right? 77% of the child pornography cases, 56% of the population. You fucking animal, fucking barbarian. Just lock them away. This is a beast-like people, all right? Beasts, okay? Beasts, usual suspect, okay? Lock them away, fucking animals, right? There, how do you like that terminology coming back towards you, E? You don't like it, do you? Fun. I like it. I think it's great. I think it's great to call you an animalistic being, all right? You're not even human, okay? These people aren't even fucking human, all right? So it's like, what did that one guy said? No, not KJV. Muscle Memory. It's by London Yellow. He makes all these dumb jokes. What did he say? There was a lyric and he says, I don't think these honkies are people. Lock the door when I see him through the people. So, and London Yellow stuff, it's like disappeared. Okay? Damn. I wonder if you can even find it anymore. Crazy that you can't find it anywhere. Can you actually hear it up on here? Guess so, but yeah. So, disproportionate Esau, disproportionate. So we're gonna get a couple more scriptures and then we'll go ahead and close out. Let's get what do we want to get? Proverbs 19:9. You like to lie and say it's our people that are doing certain things, and say it's all the crimes done by black people. Not all the crime, just the violent crime. I would consider serial killer and mass shooting to be a violent crime, and that's mostly done by you guys. So, I mean, the shootings and violent crime that we do is usually targeted at our own people, right? So, and I say we as in people, not as we as in the people that are doing it, because I don't do none of that shit, all right? None of the brothers do any of that shit, all right? But we as Israelites, yeah, some of our people do those things, all right? But we don't associate with those types of human beings, all right? Because we call them 2/3, all right? That's a 2/3, and the Lord's going to kill them regardless, okay? So we're not going to stand up for what they're doing, but also, at the same time, you can't cover up your dirt and then dig someone else's dirt, all right? And then be mad when someone else digs up the dirt on you. Well, hey, cover that back up. No. You guys fuck kids. That's what you Edomites do. You like to do that. 77% of the child porno, all right, with the P in front of it, is done by y'all. And I didn't look up the statistics of actual. Well, they couldn't find full molesting rates, but they said that it seems to be most of them are coming out of Utah. Utah is, what'd they say, 70-something% white. So it's safe to assume, as you Edomites would jump and assume, all right, it's safe to assume that most of those attacks, all right, are being done by Edomites. So, Proverbs 19:9, a false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall perish. Just had to get it again because it's great. What else? Luke 8:17. All right, and a lot of these I've gotten over the past few days, but still. Luke 8:17, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known or come abroad. You tried to hide these, all right? You don't like these being known, but now it's coming abroad. All right, Esau, the kiddly diddler. That's your name, all right? The wood woos kid diddler, all right? That's who you fucking are. Let's see, what else? Let's see. Let's go. Do I want to get that? I mean, I could, but you really don't care about what the Lord thinks anyway. In Proverbs 6:17, I'll get it. This is Proverbs 6:16, and it reads, "These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are abomination unto him. A proud look," Esau does that. "A lying tongue," Esau does that. "And hands that shed innocent blood," Esau does that. "And heart that deviseth wicked imaginations," Esau does that. "Feet that be swift in running to mischief," again, Esau does that. "A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren," Esau does that. There you go. Want to know another thing that Esau hates? Romans 9:13, as it is written, "Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated." Boom! That's another thing that the Lord hates. You devils. And you want to know why? Multiple different reasons. But you're lying, you're ungodly, you're profane, you're wicked. You kill his people up and then lie about doing it. You're evil. You're a piece of shit. And no one likes you. All right? And you're starting to see it now. All right? You're starting to see. You used to have the other nations that like you. Now the Indians don't really like you. All right? The Ishmaelites really don't fucking like you. All right? Ham doesn't like you. All right? Even the British Edomites don't like you. Right? So it's coming out, man. Your ruling days are just about over, man. Your ruling days are just about over. How I want to say it? Your days of mirth, all right, are soon to be undone. All right, so enjoy the mirth and that Bacchus spirit and partying as much as you can, All right, if you ain't partying as an Edomite today, go out and do it. All right, go and get some stocks. All right, go and do what you can. I'm just being provocative. You know, go and do it while you still can, because hey, man, you ain't got much too longer to be, hitting it big on the slot machines and picking up those girls and rolling around and smoking Cuban cigars and drinking whatever the fuck it is that rich white people drink. I don't know. I know Jake, we usually like, shit like Cavassier or like cognacs and shit, and brandy and stuff. I don't know, like Patron maybe. Jake like Patron too. Fuck, I don't know. So fancy wines from 1943 that you have to get in contact with Edomite distributors just to be able to get. Sip them while you can sip them. Don't save them for too much longer. Pop those bottles up and drink them, because you ain't got much time left. All right, so. That's how it's gonna be, man. That's how it's gonna be. And because, hey, man, you're evil, you're wicked. You gotta be put out. The Lord's gotta put you out. All right. For unrighteous dealings and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one person to another. Because of unrighteous dealings. All right, here it is. Ecclesiasticus 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, Slovakia. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Who's that one people to another? I closed out like this not too long ago. But I like to close out like this just because it's fantastic. I like the idea of it, and Esau hates the idea of it. 2nd Esdras 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that falleth. And guess what? When Jacob's in rule, when we're in rule, there's going to be righteousness in the world. All right? Why? Because your fucking pale-skinned, pink ass ain't going to be ruling this place because you can't rule for shit. All right? Again, this guy, you can go and look up the video. Cop thinks, I'll go and show you. I might just post it later. Cop thinks cologne is opium. You can go watch it right here. All right, July 2025. You can go and look it up. Insane arrest, bad cop, no donut. You can probably go on here, open up a private window in case my account's logged in. You can go and watch it right here. Bad cop, no donut. Insane arrest for having perfume. Lawsuit incoming. Go ahead. All right, roll on opium. What a bunch of clowns. All right, it's so stupid. If the stupid people couldn't be cops, they'd have to be on welfare. Damn. All right. So I'm embarrassed for them. Higher low IQ sociopaths. What do you get? What do you see? Edomites. They're dumb. A dumb people. Here's one more. All right. Okay. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And this gives me a chance to go and get what base men are. What is a base man? When the Bible says base man, what does that mean? When the Bible uses the phrase base man, it's talking about someone in low status, character, or morality. Basically, someone seen as vulgar, unworthy, or lacking nobility. Base here doesn't mean foundational. It means low-born, dishonorable, or corrupt. Think of it like not noble, not refined, maybe even cowardly or selfish. And that's exactly what you are. And we don't like you. You don't like us. And guess what? The difference is that the Lord's going to establish righteousness. And unfortunately for you, that means you will not be on top anymore because you're not a righteous leader. Okay? So long. So long, A. Bowser. Right? Is in Mario, what is that, Mario 64? Sounds like he's saying so long, gay Bowser. Right? So long. Bye-bye. All right? Hasta la vista, sayonara. All right? Don't let the door hit you with the good Lord split you. Get out. Fuck you and farewell. Right? That's how we think about it, E, because you can't do anything right. Can't even wipe your ass right. Inside joke. So yeah, man, we're gonna close out there. Lord willing, it was edifying. All right. Lord willing, brought some information to light that Esau's tried to hide. All right. So again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, Shem Rakakwadash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing. Shalom.